Hello everyone, my name is Cường and welcome all of you to our book presentation. Today, I, together with my friend Lan, will present a book related to the topic of science, which always makes us excited and curious. The name of the book is The Martian. And now, no more further ado, let's get started. The author Andy Weir was born in June 16, 1972. He is an American novelist whose debut novel, The Martian, which was later adapted into a film of the same name directed by Ridley Scott in 2015. He also worked as a computer programmer for much of his life. He received the John Campbell Award for Best New Writer in 2016. The book The Martian is a 2011 science fiction novel written by Andy Weir. It was his debut novel under his own name. It was originally self-published in 2011. The story follows an American astronaut, Mark Watney, as he becomes stranded alone on Mars in the year 2035 and must improvise in order to survive. And that's some brief information about the author in the book. And now, Lan will continue our presentation with the plot summary.
Thank you, Cường, for the introduction. It's definitely amazing. To let you understand more about this book, I will give you a short plot summary of The Martian. This is a story about a man named Mark Watney, an astronaut who is left behind on a mission to Mars during a sandstorm. He moves into the hub and begins making a plan for survival. As a botanist and mechanical engineer, Watney first cultivates the soil so that he can grow his own food supply, as he estimates that he will need to survive for at least 4 years before rescue. Back on Earth, the world mourns the loss of Watney. However, after viewing a few satellite photos, NASA officials realize that Watney is still alive. The announcement is made to the world, and NASA turns all of its resources to try to get Watney back home safely. He enhanced all of the rovers with solar panels and a radioactive power supply.
Okay, thank you, Lan. And here are some valuable lessons we have gained from this book. The first lesson is focus on the moment. When Mark discovered that he had been left for dead on Mars, he knew he was desperately out of luck. Even the knowledge that the situation was hopeless didn't stop Mark from taking the immediate actions necessary to ensure his short-term survival. We live in a society that has been training us to figure everything out, to worry about what we don't know, and to plan for an uncertain future. This can be a good start to learn how to live in the present. My major problem was that I'm worried about what I will be in the future, what version I am, what I will do when I am old, and so on. I came across this concept after reading The Martian. I realized that if I wish to be a good version of myself tomorrow, then I need to focus on myself at present. I just concentrate on my study, my family, and find out my talents. And I feel I'm okay with everything, like Mark used to be in The Martian. Another lessons we have learned is be willing to make some short-term plans. Mark knew that the next mission to Mars would arrive in about 4 years. He thought that he could do somehow to work out a way to communicate with Earth. They might be able to arrange a rescue. Mark didn't have answers to everything, and he only had imperfect answers to what he did know. But he went ahead with a plan and a purpose. I adapted this lesson to myself and I found a good system working for me. After reading The Martian, I understand one thing is that if I want to succeed at a long-term goal, then I need to break it into short-term plans. The first step is to create a visual map of the goal I wish to achieve. I get an A4 paper and start drawing a circle in the middle of the paper, and then write inside the circle the tasks you wish to accomplish. Timeline is the next stage to arrange all the smaller tasks I have listed on my paper in chronological order leading to the completed project. This lesson I learned from Mark works on myself when I plan to lose weight or plan for final semester. Everything doesn't mess up and I balance myself to achieve my goals. That's two main lessons that we have learned from this book. And there's still more interesting part in our presentation. Let's find out more with Lan.
Thank you, Cường, to pass me the chance to talk more about this book. Absolutely, every book is enjoyed by some extent, and so is Martian. This book is my top choice, firstly due to the tricky narrator. One of the first things you will notice after starting this book is how humorous Mark Watney, the narrator and standard astronaut, is. Personally, I find it pretty impossible to be so funny and sarcastic in his situation, but his ability to be like that is what makes him so lovable. He combines logic and science with humor and heart to become one of my favorite narrators in recent history. The second thing The Martian is my cup of tea is the science of the book. I know next to nothing about the botany, engineering, and my math is so functional, but the author makes everything so believable. I really could picture Mark figuring out how to grow crops using his own biomatter as manure and how to create his own water using his engineering and chemistry knowledge. Sure, his plans may be far-fetched in reality, but it sure didn't feel like it when I was reading. Another thing that makes The Martian a best-selling book is that it's not all about Mark. Judging from what I've said so far about The Martian, it would be so easy to assume that the book is all about Mark, but it's not. The author also takes time to develop the secondary characters, from Mars crews to NASA employees who have to put together in some sort of plan. They all seem so real, so believable, and they have their own voices. It makes the book so fascinating and fun. I really like this book that I have read it through the night although I have an exam the following day. The Martian left me with much of thoughts and feelings. Here I go my reviews about the book. For me, The Martian was a thrilling story about perseverance, strength, endurance, and ingenuity in the face of extreme adversity, with the author making this stressful journey a little more fun by making Courtney an insufferable smartass. Courtney is scared, terrified, but humor is his defense mechanism, and I found myself laughing out loud at the most inappropriate stuff. The story may be hardship, but the author writes them in a very accessible way, allowing the thriller elements to come through loud and clear. The author not only has a knack of being able to explain very complex stuff in layman's terms, but he also has a knack of presenting everything in a way that makes sure it all means something to our readers. The author throws a curveball, forcing Watney to scramble and come up with insane solutions on the fly in order to survive. This is an intense novel. I love The Martian. I don't want to say much else because I think it's a book you really read for yourself so you can come up with your own conclusions. Whether you read science fiction or not, this is a book that I can highly recommend. Thank you for your listening. Goodbye.